Yes, absolutely. So what I notice a lot with investors is they really struggle in the renovation process. I say it's the biggest lie that the money's made when you buy, because that's great. You might buy a great deal, but if you don't know anything about a renovation, you can go sideways real quick. You can lose a lot more money on the renovation than you ever can.
Yeah.
And so what I've noticed is that with a lot of the people I consult with is that they have no idea what a project plan is. They have no idea that a project, there's like a sequential order: demo, framing. Really, when you buy a house or renovate it, that's like 15 jobs inside of one.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm Kristen, and I'm here with Michael Mitchell, who is a general contractor turned investor. And he has a really exciting software platform in the works called Remodel Estimator Pro. So we have a lot to get into today. Thank you for being here, Michael.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Amazing. So you have a really impressive story. You have been able to scale your doors really well. I mean, over the course of 4 years, you've been able to secure hundreds. So walk us into, tell us about your background, how you got into this industry.
Sure. Many years ago, I always wanted to be in real estate investing. I took Robert Kiyosaki's course. I think it was like $1,000. This is the last $1,000 I had. And the only thing I got out of that was ROI. And I went to the smartest guy I knew. I was like, dude, what is ROI? He's like, return on investment. I was like, make it simple. Like, what do you mean return on investment? And so that's my claim to fame, is I took ROI and kind of ran with that to slowly get into real estate investing. But I absolutely feared renovations because I didn't know how to do it. I had no idea. So 2013, I started a general contracting company working for real estate investors, helping them on their properties and, watching them either flip or turn to rentals. Well, after a few years of that, first I got trapped as being a general contractor because that was my bread and butter. That's how I made money. And I didn't know how to come out of it. So now I created this business that I felt trapped in. A lot of times the entrepreneur occurs, you start a business because you want life freedom. You want to do the things you love to do. And there I found myself in this wheelhouse, dude. And it's like we're pumping out a lot of volume and we were winning awards and all this stuff. And it was really cool. But I was losing my soul slowly because I knew it wasn't on the path I was supposed to be on. But how do you take that next step whenever you have a family to feed, you got young kids? And I can't say that business was perfect all the time, because there was times the first year we hit $1 million, I ended up losing like $38,000 and I just couldn't make sense of it. So long story short, years went by. I kept working for investors. I seen them making money. But I also seen investors hiring other contractors and having major problems. And so I started going on Facebook pages and giving some real advice. Like, hey, I'd read through the comments and I'd see some problems that they're having with the contractor. I'd read the comments and like, ooh, that's going to get you sued if you do what that person says. So I'd get on there, give them some value. Well, after you do that for a few days, the owner of the group, or the leader of the group, reached out to me and said, hey, I want to actually have you on a podcast. I said, sure, let's do it. And so at the time, it was the most popular podcast at the time, went viral. And through that, some guy from Abu Dhabi reached out to me on Facebook and said, I love what you had to say. Would you be interested in being a real estate investor?
Wow.
And like it's a good story all the way through. Dummy me, I was like, yeah, absolutely, let's do
Of
it.
course, yeah.
There's no contract. This guy's in a whole nother country, and I accepted because I there's three parts to investing, right? It's the FAR acronym. There's a funding, acquisition, and renovation. You make up all three parts of those, and you just run your own business. But a lot of times in the very beginning, you need to pick one, become really good at it, and then find the other two as partners to bring in. So in my case, I found a funding partner.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
He said he'd fund 100% of everything if I found it and rehabbed it.
Wow.
No problem, say less. And
Yeah.
so I went and found the house and networked through with some realtors, found a pocket listing. We ended up flipping that deal. Then we did a few more together. Well, and then after I put some money in the bank account, I didn't touch it. I didn't go buy new shoes. I didn't go on a cruise. I put it to the side. And long story short, with this guy, him and I are still good friends today. But I just told him, I was like, look, I got the missing piece, and so I'm going to go off on my own. It was a much longer conversation, but he was very excited for me. And so the moment I went off on my own, I met another contact where I could sell turnkey rentals to hedge funds. It was the easiest money in the world. It was so easy because I'd find a house and I'd say, hey, Mr. Hedge Fund, what will you pay for this? Give you 130,000. So as long as I was under those numbers, I could purchase it and rehab it, and my holding cost, I knew I made money. And so that was really like it's a short story, but that's how I got into investing uh and to start flipping.
Wow. That's such a great story. I think like even in the beginning, how you kind of ran into something you were unfamiliar with renovations. That was like something you were unfamiliar with. So then you just ran headfirst into it. So impressive. And I think, what you were saying about kind of being pigeonholed in your career, I think that's something a lot of people feel. And
For
how
sure.
do you walk away from a paycheck? How do you walk away from something you built? You kind of went through it, but like what actually was your mindset? What was like I know that podcast changed your life, but what was really the final straw where you really kind of walked away?
I they say the treasure you seek is in the cave you fear to go into.
Hmm.
And sometimes being a little dumb pays off because you take some risk. But even though in your chest sometimes it's a God-given dream, you just got to take that step just really out of faith and just know that everything's going to work out. Act as if it's impossible to fail. It's actually a really good book. As you start moving in the direction that you really want to go, things really do truly work out depending on how advanced you are in your skill set and how sharp your sword is will determine like how fast you get there. Some people are a little quicker. Someone like me, it takes many years of kind of going through the hoops and building network and building connections and speaking as an investor. Really, the truth is I said it so much. I'm a real estate investor. I'm a real estate investor that I believe that was my identity.
Hmm.
And so naturally, when I'm saying that and moving in that direction, and the right person shows up, and it's the right opportunity, you got to take it. You got to take immediate action right then and go for it. You have to go for it.
Yeah, and
It's very scary.
totally, and you make your own luck. I think a lot of people might hear that story and be like, "Oh, well, he got lucky. Someone reached out to him." But it was because you booked the podcast, because you put in the work, because you learned your skill, thoroughly. So you put in so much work for that one thing to happen to really help you. So I think that's also a really good lesson for people, that you got to really be willing to work and go towards the
Yeah.
path that you want to be on. And yeah, good things can happen for you and you take the opportunity. And so tell everybody kind of where you're at now in your investing journey. What happened after you went off on your own?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, so in July of 22, I flipped all the way up until July of 22. The market changed. The bank I was doing business with changed the way they were doing things, and they basically said that I had to go a different direction. That the people that I was flipping to just pulled out of the market because, again, the market just shifted and people quit buying these turnkey rentals. So then I had to go find another source. In July of 22, I was talking to a bank because at the time I had 7 flips. And so I ended up listing 3 on the market. And one I made really good money on, better than selling to the hedge fund. The next one I broke even, and the third one I lost like 10 grand. And then I had 4 hanging out that I couldn't sell. Talked to a bank about, like, what do I do with these? And they said, well, you can do a cash out refinance. Did a cash out refinance, pulled out 30 grand, which was more money I was making on selling to the hedge funds. Like, wait a minute, I just cashed out refinance and I keep the property. The light bulb went off. I was like, why not? Why don't I do this to all the properties? So I refinanced all of them, kept them as rentals. And then once I caught on to the generational wealth and the passive income, I kind of went a little too quick because we bought 30 properties in the first 2 months. And then by the end of the year, bought 65. And then the next year, bought another 50. And it was the BRRRR method. I still do the BRRRR method. At first, I was doing a lot of Section 8. I'm not sure if you want to get in some of the struggles and stuff I had in there or come back to those.
Right.
Because I learned a lot during scaling, and it came with the challenges for sure. So the first 2 years were awesome, but rough, because I didn't have no systems. I had no processes. I was just really fast at rehabbing houses. And as long as I could pick them up, we could rehab them and move on. So leaves me in a day. Once I built my buy box, I've had the same buy box for 3 years now. I've never changed strategies. I flipped maybe 2 houses in the last 3 years, just because they were pocket listings and made a lot of sense. But outside of that, I had no short-term rentals. I have no Airbnbs. It's all long-term rentals. And then about a year and a half ago, we ran into a guy who was talking about doing like lease options on properties. We give ownership to people, they pay the option to start buying the house. And I realized there was no maintenance and no management, and there was a better return on your investment, and you provide people with homes. I've literally had people come to the closing table crying that this is the first house that they've ever been able to buy. So there's some good feelings, behind that. It gives your business a sense of purpose. So yeah, the last 3 years, I scaled the first 2 years, and then I pulled back quite a bit, and then I just focus on buying 3, 4 at a time. Focus on the family, travel a lot, and I train for Ironman triathlons. And honestly, I just keep it really, really simple. I keep it as simple as I possibly can.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good lessons there. I would love for you to get more into kind of you said you had some problems or some lessons you learned while scaling.
Yeah. So the very first thing I learned was when you get 30 properties done, it's because we pretty much are all on the same kind of timeline. Like I said, my buy box is very specific. And but when we bought those 30, we finished about 20 of them at the exact same time. And if you don't have a system in place to fulfill those units, you're going to start bleeding mortgages quickly, because mortgage payments do come up and they don't care about your feelings. They just want their money. And so,
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I laugh now, but it was quite difficult. So once we started finishing these units, I just thought with Section 8 that like they were just going to send me people and start filling up the units. And it was going to be like this, like, oh, you finish a unit here, put somebody, you move a family in. Well, it didn't work that way. And so it was slowly getting people. And also since we had so many units like coming up and they were turning so quickly, I started like not really verifying too much on their rental like application. So it's like, can you fog a mirror? If you can do that, then you're in the house. Well, that was real dumb. That was real dumb. That was not the smartest thing I ever did in my life. Didn't really realize the repercussions at the time. So I'm filling units, I'm putting bodies in it. A lot of them are Section 8, 98% were Section. Well, since the economy was a little messed up, they were holding Section 8 payments for months. So not only did I get people in there and didn't verify like all the people, so within just like 30 days, here I am bleeding more mortgages. I'm now having maintenance issues. I'm trying to hire a property management company, which that company was exploding, which I didn't think about at the time. Like they were cool when they were small, but when they got bigger, they didn't have the processes or systems. So now we have me and we have this property management company with no processes or systems. And I don't know, because that was my personality. I seem to go step in the fire and I might step in it 2, 3 more times before I realize something's wrong. And so we're bleeding mortgages, we're doing renovations, we're trying to get people in there. They're messing up the units, there's parties, I got stories for days. We don't have enough time in a year for me to share all those with you. And then another problem was this is kind of going into winter time. So November, December, January, we had some really cold months. I had gas bills. I mean, we were paying $10,000 a month in just gas bills to keep the houses heated so the water lines didn't freeze. Didn't think about that either. And then I had a bright idea. I was like, well, let's save some money and not put AC units in. Like, we'll wait till spring. Well, spring comes fast and it gets hot here fast. And all of a sudden, you got to put in 20 AC units. I don't, it might have been closer to 30, 27, 28 AC units. Tenants calling, screaming, it's hot, it's hot. I was like, well, put window units in. And so we're trying to put window units in. We're trying to put AC units in. And for the first year, it was an absolute madhouse. So as that year kind of progressed, I kept buying houses. I went from buying 65 down to 50, which I thought was slowing down.
Going down.
And I was still having the same kind of problems. I found a leasing agent to start filling the houses. She realized how fast I was moving, so she brought in a couple other people, started filling units, and well, those bad apples that I put in previously really went rotten really, really, really quickly because I learned what an eviction was, and the very first guy, it took me a year to get him out. It was probably my first viral video on social media. I mean, there was guns pulled. One of my kids were there, which was a big mistake. I'll never bring my kids to an eviction again. It was something you see off of Cops. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. But again, it took me a whole year to get this guy out because man, I didn't know. When you buy a property with the tenants in there, you have to like redo the leases. You have to let them know that you bought the property. You got to give this to them in writing. There was so much I learned out of that, but I tell you, he was the only guy that's ever got over me that good. I actually thanked him in court. I was like, man, I just want to thank you because you taught me everything I needed to know. You knew how to work the system. So I did. I thanked him and shook his hand, even though he was a criminal. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, that was some of the major pain points I really learned. Eventually, Section 8 started paying. It caught us up on a lot of the back rents and stuff like that, though. But it was it wasn't buy 10 properties and live the rest of your life happily and free, because the maintenance and management is a whole nother side of the business that I had to learn. Eventually, I started my own property management company, not for hire, just for our own doors. And it was a lot better control, quarterly inspections, and we screen way better now. A matter of fact, if you don't have an iPhone, we don't take you. You got to have an iPhone.
No green bubbles. That's awesome. I mean, but that's reality. I think a lot of people have similar stories, and people starting out, see that you have so many doors and feels like so seamless. But the reality is messy, and the reality is you learn a lot on the job. So I'm so happy you shared that. We're, kind of at the end of our time here. I really want to talk about your app. I think it's awesome. You're in pre-launch right now, but tell us all about it so people can kind of follow along.
Yes, absolutely. So what I notice a lot with investors is they really struggle in the renovation process. I say it's the biggest lie that the money's made when you buy, because that's great. You might buy a great deal, but if you don't know anything about a renovation, you can go sideways real quick. You can lose a lot more money on the renovation than you ever can. And so what I've noticed is that with a lot of the people I consult with is that they have no idea what a project plan is. They have no idea that a project, there's like a sequential order: demo, framing, rough-in, installation, drywall, right? And so everybody sees this as one job. And really, when you buy a house or renovate it, that's like 15 jobs inside of one. Each trade is a new job, and it has to go in a very specific order, or you just don't get a good product. But I see a lot of investors get happy. As long as there's people in there working, they don't care what's going on. They could be painting, drywall, and putting flooring at the same time. And to them, that feels good because they're like, oh man, there's movement. But it's towards the end where the problems end up coming, where after they patch that wall, now they got to go paint it. And then the paint flashes. And then you want to paint that wall. Well, the contractor's out of money. You're asking him to repaint the wall. He's out of money. He's not going to do it. And so once you start bumping heads with the contractor, things go sideways. And what I've noticed is that when people come in to do their scope of work, they're not doing it to the detail that they need to do it in. And mostly because it's just so complicated. Like for me, like whenever I was doing it, when I was having so much success, is I would write out from my walkthrough to my estimate to my scope. And that whole process would take me 3 to 4 hours to really do a good project plan. And then we'd implement that. And then we'd run, that's the plan we followed. And I man, I got burnt out on spending that much time. So I created a software where you could go from walkthrough to estimate to from walkthrough, yeah, just the estimate or scope of work to project plan in 15 minutes or less. And so with this software, you're asked simple questions. We take care of all the heavy lifting on the back end. It's a 99% accurate project plan. So by the time you're done with this, you walk the house and come out of it, you have this plan for your project. It details your labor, your material, it has your scope of work, and then we have a project plan that you lay out. And so there's milestones. And so when you start this project and you hand it to your contractor, that everybody knows what's going on. And for a contractor, myself, that was working with investors who knew what they were doing, it made my life easier. When I worked with investors who didn't know what was going on, they were trying to control the process too much, which then made me not want to work with them. And so it's like there's an order of operations, and there's a way to marry the contractor to the investor and have a plan where you both can see the finish line. And if it's successful for both of you, then theoretically you both make money. You both save time, you make more money, you get through projects quicker. And so it's like, well, how do I take a complicated process, simplify it down to where anybody can use it, where it's so simple an eighth grader can use this? And I verified this with my kid. And as long as your eighth grader understands what a living room is and what a bathroom is and what a toilet is and vanity is, they can build a very detailed scope of work. We've built all the integrations on the back end. It's hard money lender approved. They absolutely love the scope of work. No more bulky items, just kitchen remodel, bathroom remodel. That is it's a recipe for disaster, because I guarantee you look at an estimate, it says the number look good, the total looks good, but if they say kitchen remodel, if they start running out of money, they're gonna be like, "Hey, boss, I hear this all. Did you want countertops on your brand new cabinets? Yeah, that's included, right? Nah, boss, another couple thousand. Well, you do that a few times, you blown your budget. So this app breaks everything down, everything that you need in detail. And I mean, it's so simple. It is so simple. If you can answer a few simple questions, choose the room that you're in, you'll be able to build a very successful scope of work. And in you as the investor, if you come in and have this scope of work, you can share this now with your contractors, and you're getting apples to apples actual estimates. Because if you ever gotten 3 estimates from 3 different contractors, they're all different. And
Right.
and then you're like, well, does yours include flooring, or does yours include the cabinet handles? What about painting, exterior? Okay, so this guy includes this guy, dude. It's mentally going to hurt your head, and you're literally hoping you pick the right one and it works out. So with this, you hand them the scope of work. This is what I want done. This is going to get you a C3 appraisal. If you're doing BRRRR, you know what that means. If not, that's the minimum you want on an appraisal to get your money back. Because if you don't get that money back, you put money into a deal, and then your return on investment is going to be a little bit lower over time. So here you can get apples to apples, 3 different estimates on your templates, very clean cut. I mean, it's so clean. It's very easy to use. You have templates that we've built out and putting in there. So you can just click, you want the gray and white theme, the black and gold theme. And it's what we've personally used to get the best appraisal without blowing our budget, because you can get a little crazy and it's unnecessary. So if you get too high of an appraisal, you did too much. If you did too low, you didn't do enough. So there's that perfect mix where we're delivering that to you. So, when you click that material and it populates it, that is going to get you right where you want to be on your appraisal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like you kind of thought of everything. That's such a great tool for people. When is that kind of scheduled to launch? Like when about?
Well, we just went through about 20 beta testers and the feedback was phenomenal. And so that's when I opened up my wallet and built a whole team, got developers really all over the world now, and a whole team. We are projecting to be out in 2 months or less. I think it's going to come faster than what I think. So right now we got a pre-launch. Anybody who signs up on a pre-launch gets a free month, and we're also going to cut in a ridiculous, almost dumb subscription deal, almost to a point where we're breaking even, and then it quickly goes up over that, because I know if this app will save you $1,000 over one project, it would pay for itself over
Right.
10 years. It
Absolutely.
paid for itself for 10 years. And then we're also working out some deals with Home Depot right now, where we're going to have special discounts and rebates that as if you're affiliated with us, you'll get that on top of your pro. So if you're a pro member, on top of that, you'll get that. And if you're not a pro member, then you'll get a really good, nice savings right then.
Awesome. Well, that's so exciting. And 2 months is very soon. So
I'm
impressed with
excited.
that. I
I'm
think,
so excited. I've
yeah.
been working on it 7 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Very complicated process. To simplify this is, I almost feel like I did the impossible, to be like real honest with you, because no one's ever done this.
I mean, I think it's going to be so helpful for people and save people a ton of money. So this is awesome. Tell people where to find you, how to follow you. You have a very active social media page, and where people can kind of check out the pre-launch.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can follow me on TikTok. I think we have like 22,000 followers or something on
Nice.
there. So I flip houses. And then on Instagram, it's Lease Mastermind. And then Facebook, just Michael Mitchell. But you're probably not going to find me because there's like 10 million Michael Mitchells. But if you find me in Instagram, that's where I put most of my stuff anyways. Facebook, used for just outreach and marketing, and find a lot of my properties on there. There's a gold nugget for you guys. So, but yeah, Lease Mastermind on Instagram, and I flip houses on TikTok, and we're starting marketing pretty heavy now. We'll cut off the pre-launch and that deal. We got a specific number we're going to hit, and then once we hit that, we're cutting it, because can't lose money.
Can't give everything away. Well, that's so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing such good inspiration and, your experience and advice and all of that. I think it's been
Thank
amazing.
you.
And I think that this app, I think it sounds killer. I think a lot of people will be interested in it. So thank you for being here, Michael.
Awesome. I appreciate your time.
And thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope you got some good inspiration. Maybe look at your business a little bit differently. Definitely check out Remodel Estimator Pro, and we will see you back next time. Bye.
Awesome. Take care.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.